You guys know this sound? We all know that sound. You know why? Because we're talking graded cards. All right, guys, thanks for checking out this new video. This is Pack Addict Cards. I am Bobby. I'm your novice collector host of this channel. I just got back into collecting cards as someone who collected cards as a kid back in the 90s, back in cards collecting now. And it's a new experience for me, but you know, it's been enjoyable, and you know, I'm kind of learning along the way here, trying to figure stuff out. And today I just wanted to talk about, you know, not cracking packs or anything like that, but I wanted to give a hot take on graded cards. I want to know, you know, I kind of want to give you my feelings on graded cards. I also, you know, want to hear what you guys think about graded cards, and is it worth it? Like, why do you grade your cards? That sort of thing. Because again, this is kind of new to me. You know, I don't remember when cards started, you know, getting graded, maybe the early 2000s, but you know, the idea of like grading a card was nothing in the 90s. But as you can see, I got a stack of graded cards here. But as I've, you know, started to buy graded cards, you know, I kind of have this thought of you know, what I think about them, because I've only, you know, sent in a few cards to be graded. This is my second card that I ever sent in. This is my PSA 10 Connor Bedard rookie card. So not bad for my second card ever sending in to get graded. I get the Gem Mint 10. The first card I ever sent in was a WWE Alexa Bliss Kiss card. That came in at a 9. I just wanted to kind of preserve that card, and I was like, what the hell, I'll send them to be graded. But the more, you know, I see graded cards, I started going in and buying rookie cards of some of my favorite players. You know, here's my Wayne Gretzky PSA 4 rookie card. I got a Chelios in here, Mario, I got Stevie Y, I got Mark Messier, Luc Robitaille. You know, then there's like the weird Steve Nash, he's my favorite basketball player, my Steve Nash rookie card, which I think cost me like $10. So Steve Nash, 2-time MVP, worth way more than $10. But I started to think about like grading and you know, like looking at, you know, when I got this Connor Bedard, I got it and I pulled it from the pack. I'm like, that looks like a really great card. I didn't think it was a 10. I know I didn't put it on their microscope, but I know some guys do put stuff on their microscope and you know, before they send it in, trying to figure out, oh, you know, because it's like, yeah, 9's great, but a 10's like obviously the best. But you know, you don't want to send in a card and be like, oh, I got an 8, you know, unless you got something vintage like a Jordan, you know, rookie card or something like that. But yeah, but my thoughts on grading, because it's like, listen, I am a comic book fan, I'm a toy fan, so I've seen things graded from all these different industries, and I think my thoughts on comics is the worst. You know, I don't think a comic should be graded. I think if anything, a card is okay to be graded because I can see the front and the back. This is the card, this is it. Like a comic book, you're stealing that card and you can never read it, you can never open it again, like you can't see the insides of it. I know you want to preserve it and stuff. A toy, it's like, okay, you can see a Star Wars figure or something, but you know, I've said it before to some of my friends, like, for those of you that collect vintage G.I. Joes, the Real American Hero 80s 3 3/4 figures, they have the O-ring inside. Well, say you get, they grade them differently, like an 85, I think is like almost perfect for toy. If you get like an 85 carded, say, you know, original 82 Snake Eyes, all those O-rings inside those G.I. Joes will eventually bust. And one day you're going to have this 85 of a figure that's split in half in the bubble. It will eventually happen to every single G.I. Joe ever made. It's like mathematically impossible for it not to break because they're under tension, it's going to dry rot, and it's eventually going to break. I've seen people with figures graded with busted O-rings after it got graded. Cards are a little different now because, again, you get to see the front and the back, you preserve the card, it's fine. But as I started thinking about cards, I'm just like, I don't know exactly how they're doing it. I do, from what I understand, know that it is a human being grading this card. I don't know how many human beings are looking at this card. So guys, you know, give me some info on this because I don't know for sure. The more I think of it, I'm like, this should be something that's done not by AI, but by a computer. Like, the card should be coming in, the card should be scanned, and a program should identify areas of the card. Because when you're dealing with humans, think of an umpire in baseball. It's like we're seeing the box on TV, and he's calling stuff either strikes or balls. Say he calls a ball that we see as a strike. It's like, okay, human error. You're dealing with people making decisions. There's always going to be human error. So I'm asking someone to grade this card that is totally capable of human error. What if this grader has a headache that day, or didn't have his cup of coffee, or he's going through something and he comes into work and he's just kind of mad. He's just looking, no, it's a 9. Whereas another guy might look at this and it might be a 10. So I don't know, again, how many people are looking at the card, but from what I understand, it is humans, grading the cards. So there's going to be human error. I picked up a Pokemon card. I wanted to get my son into Pokemon cards, and I got him a base set, not first edition because it's shadowless, so it's basically the second run of Pokemon cards. I got a Charizard. So I got a graded 7 Charizard. But I'm looking, I'm like, man, this card looks flawless. No scratches on the hollow or anything like that. And the guy said, yeah, that was graded like years ago. He goes, you could probably crack that, send it back in, and get a better grade. And I'm like, grading should be like the grade is the grade. Like, I'm going to send it in and get a different grade. So it's like, if I crack this Connor Bedard that's a Gem Mint 10 and I send it back in, is it going to come back as a 10? Or is it going to be, come back at a 9? I mean, are there people that have tried that experiment, like had a graded card from PSA, send it back into PSA, and PSA graded it something different? It's like, if that's the case, how can you put stock in the grading? Like, to me, it's like, I don't know. Like, there's too much human error there. It should be more scientific, like looking at something and grading it, because you're taking someone's opinion. What if someone's looking at, this Gretzky card and saying, yeah, that's off center. You show 3 more guys and like, no, it's not off center, but they're not the ones that grade it. So it's like, how do you know? How do you know what you're getting? So, it's kind of just, it's a crapshoot with graded cards. So, I kind of, and it's like, you probably ask like, oh, well, why'd you get the graded cards? I don't know. It's like, one, I like the cases and they're preserved and stuff. Yeah, I could have just got top-loaded cards and stuff like that. But, it's like I got the grade. It's almost like a peace of mind. Here's my Patrick Waugh. It's an 8. My Mike Gartner is an 8. Brodeur with his dirt stash is 9. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. But now, like, that I'm into it and I'm like thinking about this, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's like, I've said it before in videos that I'm on the hunt. My grail is obviously an 86 for the year Jordan rookie card. I love Jordan. And one day I hope to get one. And it's like, yeah, I could buy a PSA 1 now for like, I don't know, $1,200, but it's like the higher you go, but it's like, I don't know, like, how do you trust those grades? Because it's like when you're dealing with a card that's $10,000, it's like, well, is that grade accurate or not? And that's just my thing is like, how can we trust the people that work at PSA or Beckett or whoever does the grading to stand by it? And I know they're going to say, well, they're our employees. We train them. And it's like, yeah, but you could train someone. They could be the best at their job. But again, what if Joe Schmo comes in and his wife cheated on him the night before and he didn't tell anybody, and he comes in and he's grading a card and he gives, a card that's a 9, a 7. And then you get your card back. You're like, oh man, a 7? And then you got to spend the money to crack it and then regrade it, all because that guy had like a bad night before. It's like there's too much human error. But again, I don't know how many people are looking at the cards. Is one guy looking at it, grading it, passing it down the table? Another guy looks at it, he gives a grade. That I don't know. Is it like judging in boxing or MMA? I don't know. You guys got to fill me in. I'm sure I can Google it and figure it out. But to me, just kind of shooting from the hip, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on where I think like grading is, and Is it something that's legit? I don't know. I know like with toy grading, it's kind of a mess right now. Like I've seen people online where they sent in, say, a stormtrooper to get graded, and it got graded, and it came back and it said Yoda on the thing, and it's like they don't even know what they're grading. Or, you know, it's like I've seen in Star Wars, there's a big problem with reproduction accessories. A lot of them are faked and things like that. I've seen people claiming that a repro was sent in with a figure and it was graded as authentic. So it's like, you know, it's not a good look. So, you know, and when you're spending a lot of money for something you want to be authentic, it's like, okay, you know. Now, I think PSA and Beckett are probably the most trustworthy because they've probably been doing it longer. You know, toys, it's CSA. Comics, I forget what comics is. But it's not, you know, it's different because, you know, PSA knows cards. I don't know if PSA does comics or toys, but yeah, CSA is the big toy one. I think like UKG is another big toy one. But again, you don't know. You're trusting someone to authenticate your item, and we don't know if it's actually going to be authenticated correctly. So that's just where my thoughts are. Let me know what you guys think. Are you cool with grading? Do you think it's the best thing to do? Do you have your reservations about it? I want to hear all about it. So fill me in. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks for coming and watching the video. Make sure you're liking and subscribing and turning on notifications. This is a new channel, but we're hoping to grow it, hopefully with some good, great content. Again, I'm a novice at this, coming in, hoping you guys can help me out, become a better collector. So again, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one.